Change that we must embrace is not a simple change of political structure or economic policy, but rather a complete revolution of consciousness and awareness within the human mind.
Hi, I'm Andrew Bittner.
And I'm Micah Jackson.
We'd like to welcome you to the first episode of the Houston Freethinkers Weekly Newscast.
And this is an exciting episode with a lot of information in it, so let's get into it, Andrew.
First, we'd like to go to Frank Vedati with the Peaceful Streets Project, where he'll tell us about some of the good work that those guys have been doing.
Thanks, guys. The Peaceful Streets Project is a volunteer, grassroots undertaking uniting Houstonians behind the common goal of ending the institutional violence taking place on our streets. Through organizing, training, and direct action tactics, the Peaceful Streets Project seeks to support marginalized communities in understanding, exercising, and standing up for their rights. Our vision is a society free of state-sponsored institutionalized violence. Through community organizing, engaging in non-political and non-violent direct action tactics, and utilizing new technologies, the Peaceful Streets Project seeks to bring about a cultural shift where individuals understand their rights and hold law enforcement officials accountable. In order to accomplish these goals, the Peaceful Streets Project is undertaking the following actions: a police accountability summit featuring a free full day of workshops and speakers, fundraising to purchase video cameras for trained activists, know your rights training, and police abuse complaints departments. New to the PSP list of actions is bringing to light the aggressive actions of cops in our Corrupt Cop of the Month, where we select a coward law enforcement officer who has stepped on people's rights with their jackboots, assaulted innocent people, abused their power, etc., etc. The Corrupt Cop of the Month for March was HPD's own Matthew Marin, who fatally shot and killed a mentally ill double amputee who was wheelchair-bound back in September 2012. Sounds like a dangerous man. Incidences like the double amputee being murdered by police are the reasons why Peaceful Streets Project, Cop Block, and Cop Watch, and groups alike exist, to hold these thugs accountable, something police internal affairs never do. If you're looking into getting involved with the Peaceful Streets Project, you can message us on our Facebook page at Peaceful Streets Project-Houston. There are also other chapters in Austin, San Antonio, Sandusky. If you live near any of these cities or don't, then you can start your own Peaceful Streets Project group where you live and start holding crooked cops accountable. Live with Houston Freethinkers on the Friday Night News, I'm Frank Vedati.
Thank you, Frank. And with another story of potential police abuse and infringement of First Amendment rights, we turn to Andrew Bittner.
America. Is it the land of the free? Is it a place where free speech and transparency are supreme? This may be less true than you think. Contrary to popular sentiment, the United States is more accurately understood as a place where college professors lose their positions for political dissent, where unfavorable associations result in being spied on, and where individuals who expose war crimes and other injustices of the state are imprisoned. On March 13th, individuals from the East Flatbush neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York, continued into their third night of protests concerning the shooting of a 16-year-old boy named Kimani Gray. Residents from the area held a candlelight vigil for the teenage victim. Days after Gray's funeral, there was another march with about 100 in attendance. Residents continue to challenge the NYPD's story concerning the night Gray was killed. The medical examiner's office revealed that the 16-year-old was shot in both the front and back portions of his body, raising questions from members of the community. Police response to the situation demonstrates how little freedom of speech is respected in America.
Are we clear? I hear you. Bricks, but again, that needs to be over. Why don't you stay here as a courtesy?
Actually, it's my rights. I have as a citizen.
Right now, this is a frozen zone, so it's not your right.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
You folks on the sidewalk all night long. Let's go. On the sidewalk. On the sidewalk.
So where we go? Sidewalk?
On the sidewalk.
As heard in the video clip, the protest is in a frozen zone. Frozen zones are an enforced area whose purpose seems to limit gathering of information and reporting by the media. The NYPD has been reported to force journalists, members of the media, and citizen filming to cease activities and leave the area, effectively silencing legally protected speech. The takeover of free speech is occurring not only in Brooklyn, but on the national scale as well. Reporters Without Borders, also known as RSF, is a French-based nonprofit organization that champions free speech, be it through news media, internet sources, or other forms of media. RSF recently released their World Press Freedom Index, which ranked the U.S. as 32nd. The top 3 countries were Finland, the Netherlands, and Norway. The ranking system is based off a research questionnaire concerning journalist arrests, number of abducted journalists, media assistants, and net citizens who were jailed or killed in connection with their activities or affiliations. Other research criteria includes media outlets that self-censor, government interference in editorial content, and the transparency or lack thereof of government decision-making. Federal and state governments are showing themselves to be formidable threats to freedom of expression. The research is clear. America is experiencing a silent takeover of free speech. With knowledge of these infringements, one can rise above fear and empower themselves to challenge government censorship. By defending the right to free speech, we create and encourage an environment where rights are respected, and anyone can express an idea regardless of popularity and without fear of threat or reprisal.
Any solution we employ, whether practical, political, or philosophical, shares a relation with an individual, a self or selves, us, them, me, you. An individual desires and enjoys a solution. Thus we engage in the act of consciously creating circumstances, providing beneficial solutions. Recognizing this reveals a host of remedies to diverse problems. For example, perhaps you have a problem with the Federal Reserve scam. You could act to use alternate stores of value. You could act to form or join a barter network, such as the Houston Exchange Network. No matter what the problem, act for yourself. Don't be determined by external forces. Recognize you are the solution and act towards your goals. Thus, exercising and strengthening freedom, you are this week's 60-second solution. In order to act for any solution, it is important that we be healthy. With that in mind, we turn to the medicine wheel for discussion on holistic health.
Healthcare goes back much further than our modern medical paradigm cares to acknowledge or utilize. Egyptian Imhotep diagnosed and treated over 200 diseases. After 2 years of academic study and 27 of intensive research and experimentation, Li Shizhen published the Compendium of Materia Medica, a text that is still used as a reference tool for Chinese herbal medicine. Ayurveda, Sanskrit for the science of life, is a health science that has been used for over 200 years. Newer modalities such as chiropractic medicine, which focuses on the body's nervous system to prevent, diagnose, and treat neuromusculoskeletal disorders, are often categorized as complementary alternative medicine because they lack the time-cost efficiency of conventional medicine. From the Latin derivation of docere, learn, one would assume that health advisors would provide information to their patients to empower them to improve their health. Unfortunately, we are faced with the reality that often little time is spent addressing causation, but rather masking symptoms and looping patients back to pre-illness condition, returning them to the very environments that originally brought about the illness. It doesn't help that government agencies created to regulate health and other less than honorable academics sometimes ignore or misrepresent data, and are very much intertwined with the pharmaceutical and agricultural industries as well as insurance interests, who heavily influence medical perspectives. Donald Rumsfeld, chairman of GE Searle, the creators of alternative sweetener aspartame, landed a spot on the Reagan administration's transition team, which appointed Dr. Hayes, a pharmacologist, to be director of the FDA, who later approved aspartame after a suspicious vote. Not an uncommon occurrence. Just this week, the FDA moved to drop effectiveness tests for certain Alzheimer's drugs, and the Monsanto Protection Act was signed despite mountains of evidence showing the health risks of GMOs. Holistic health strives for more than just reaction and restoration, but a transition to a more healthy living environment that includes clean air, water, and land. To improve health, we must recognize the importance of individual understanding and involvement in the healing process, and work to integrate modern medical advancements with the timeless wisdom of other cultures.
And now we go live to Derek Brose with the Conscious Report in the Streets.
Thanks, guys. I'm here on the corner of Milam and Alabama outside of the Breakfast Club. The mural behind me was painted by local artist Reginald Adams in cooperation with State Senator Rodney Ellis and the business owner. Now, this mural has not been welcomed by everyone here in this community. It's actually been hit by a few cases of vandalism over the past few years. The first case happened on October 16th when somebody splattered red paint across the eyes of President Obama. After October, the mural was then redesigned and repainted. And then again on January 28th, somebody else hit the mural with red paint. There's also images showing the word puppet scrawled across the bottom of President Obama's face. And in February, as you guys can see, the image was redesigned to the current mural showing President Obama kissing a baby boy. This redesign, however, has not stopped vandals. Reportedly, the business owner had to capture and detain someone who he believed was trying to hit the mural with spray paint. So why is this happening now? Why are people choosing to attack a mural of the President of the United States of America? Is this the Tea Party back for revenge, upset that Mitt Romney didn't get the nomination? Or is there more to this? Are people waking up to the propaganda? Or is President Obama really a baby kisser? Well, according to Senator Lindsey Graham, we've killed 4,700 human beings under the Obama administration in our current drone war. Senator Graham is quoted as saying, "Sometimes you hit innocent people, and I hate it, but we're at war." Aww. According to the UK-based Bureau of Investigative Journalism, between 3,072 and 4,756 people have been killed in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia under the Obama administration's drone war. Also, we have the case of Anwar al-Awlaki and his 16-year-old son, both who were killed by President Obama's drone campaign without a trial by jury. There's also the curious case of the presidential kill list, which was reported on by the New York Times. Apparently, every Tuesday, President Obama meets with his staff to discuss who will live and who will die. So, is this mural an accurate portrayal of President Obama, or is it just another pack of lies? Now, to be fair, the business owner has every right to paint a mural of whoever he chooses. President Obama, Hitler, Charles Manson, whatever. But perhaps through continued education of the people of our city, we can wake them up to the true nature of our president and get this mural taken down. Live in Midtown, this is Derek Bros with the Conscious Report. If you can hear this, you are the resistance. Back to you guys in the studio.
We're looking forward to the release of our first full-length HFT documentary, HFT at RNC 2012. This premiere will be April 11th, Thursday, at East End Studio Gallery. Derek caught up with Adam Kokesh last week and spoke about his experiences at RNC 2012.
Politics is a dirty game, and the taste it left in my mouth was a result of getting, shat on by the establishment, and and along with it, all the libertarians that thought they were better off trusting the Republican establishment than the grassroots. So, I had a great time at Paul Fest. I had a great time with the activists that were there. I had a great time with the hardcore, the real libertarians, and to see that there was kind of a split in the movement at that point.
For full interview, click below.
And now we go live to our You the Viewer segment. On a post about Henry Kissinger, user Lysmith from our Twitter network said, "You are awesome. You just earned a follow. Kissinger equals vile criminal. I couldn't agree more. Henry Kissinger is a bad man."
From YouTube video, What Does Freedom Mean to You, South by Southwest, user Resident Zombie says, "Rights come naturally from our humanity. Rights are not privileges, and rights can never be taken away." Well said.
From our Houston Free Thinkers social network, user Sibby said, "I've been awake for about a year, and I'm tired of being the only antsy, concerned person I know that's concerned about the government. It makes me feel helpless that I can't do anything but watch documentaries. Hope to meet some of you like mine sometime. And we'd like to meet you sometime."
Certainly. Come out to our monthly meeting next Thursday.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for watching. Join us next time for the weekly news.
Until then, follow us on Twitter at Houston is Free, like us on Facebook, share this video, and find us at thehoustonfreethinkers.com. But more importantly, live free, think free, and you will be free.
We are witnessing the fall of the republic as tyrants try to make us all their subjects. They buy up newspapers, TVs, and magazines as they try to implement a fascist regime. Corporations have been